Thank you. I am going to tell you a little bit about how we use MEG and EEG in combination at the Martinos Center to study a little bit older subjects than described before. So MEG and EEG measure the electromagnetic fields from the neural tissue, and therefore they can see brain events with a very high temporal resolution, as high as we want actually. But the spatial resolution is clearly worse than in fMRI, so of the order of a centimeter or two if sources are simultaneously active. Now, because MEG and EEG have different sensitivities to neural current sources, it's useful to use them simultaneously so that they provide different aspects of the neural events. And with our system that is shown here on the right, we can actually acquire more than 300 MEG and more than 100 EEG channels simultaneously. At the Martinos Center, we first of all develop new methods for multimodal imaging which involves MEG and EEG, and we are also associated with the Children's Hospital Boston to help in the development of these infant MEG systems. And then we apply these methods to basic neuroscience studies, clinical research in various patient groups, and also purely clinical studies to do functional mapping in epileptic and brain tumor patients. Here's one example of what we can do with MEG. Up here is a famous visual illusion figure which can be interpreted either as a vase or two faces, and we have tagged these different parts of figure with noise of different frequencies. And here on the right we see a spectrum of MEG at the occipital areas, and we see these tag frequencies in the spectrum. But what is interesting is that if we look at the data as a function of time and ask the subject when the percept changes from the vase to phases, we see change in the proportion of these frequencies. So this is the frequency axis. So that with MEG we can sort of eavesdrop the perception. And we can also tell, as shown here, where this change happens in the brain. So on our wish list is really an effective way to combine MEG and EEG with the hemodynamic measures which provide much better spatial resolution but lack the temporal precision that we need. And still, MEG and EEG are rarely used in combination, even though they are useful to be used together. And increasingly we start to use biophysical models to make connection between the surface MEG and EEG and the microscopic direct physiological measurements, so that we can more understand what the MEG and EEG means in terms of what is happening in the cells. And this early brain development studies are really an interesting new application area. Thank you.
Thank you, Matti. Perfect.